Hello folks, today I'm going to show you the wrong way to install a spark plug on any kind of small engine. We'll be using a Honda Snowblower because this is the Honda Snowblower enthusiast group, but this can be relative to any kind of small engine. Uh, Shops and mechanics see this all the time. People are putting these spark plugs in wrong, and what happens is you can do hundreds of dollars of damage to the head of your engine, and it's can be a major annoyance and pain to repair. So I'm going to show you the wrong way to do it, and I'm going to show you of course, I'm going to show you the right way to do it. And first of all, I want to ask you, why are you taking your spark plug out in the first place? If you're a snowblower owner and your machine's or any small engine, if your machine is working fine, if it starts fine, and you're not having any problems, then maybe there's no reason to take the plug out in the first place. Um, I service a lot of machines, so I always take the plug out and inspect them, clean them, replace them if necessary. And but otherwise, a lot of times you don't even have to replace the spark plug. Uh, in some cases, you could hydrolock the engine where you can't pull start it because some gasoline or some oil got into the cylinder and your cylinder is locked up. Your engine's locked up. So in that case, yes, you can take out the spark plug. If the spark plug hasn't been replaced in many years, yes, you might as well replace the spark plug. Another reason to replace the spark plug is that if you have a no start situation, it won't start, and the first thing you want to do, other than checking that, making sure the key's on and making sure that your gas is in the tank and your gas is on, is to see if you have spark. Now you can do that leaving the spark plug in. You can use something like this. It's called an inline spark tester, and you can connect this to the end of your spark plug, and you can put the other end in the wire in the boot, and you can see if you have a spark. There's a little light in here. When you turn the engine on with the key on, it will show an orange light if the spark plug's sparking. I mean, a lot of us techs and shops use something like this because it saves time. The other way to check for spark is to remove the spark plug, put the boot back on, and lay the spark plug onto the engine and see if you'll see the spark. But let me show you the wrong way to do it here. A lot of people will use a wrench with an extension with a socket for the spark plug and remove the spark plug, which is okay. But when you're trying to put the new plug in or reinstall your plug, you're using you're using a wrench, a ratchet wrench with an extension with a spark plug uh, socket. You don't want to do that. I mean, I tried doing that myself just a few minutes ago, and the spark plug started going in wrong. You really don't have a good feel for it. So you're putting the spark plug in, and it's screwing in, but it's not screwing in right. And what's going to happen is that you're going to damage the threads. The head of the engine is aluminum. Your spark plug is metal. You're going to damage the threads, and you're either going to have to repair the threads or you're going to have to remove in the worst cases, you have to remove the head and do some surgery. You're going to have to do a couple $100 worth of work to it with the labor and everything. So you don't want to do that. I mean, this spark plug is only $4. So you don't, you want to do it right. And if you want to do it right, it takes a couple extra minutes, but it's worth it. Let me show you how to do it. On this machine here, on snowblowers, you take off the muffler. Now the muffler is only held on by two little nuts. You take off the muffler like so, and now you see you've got a much clearer view of the spark plug. Now I can take it out with the wrench, see, but I don't want to install it with the wrench. And now you can see you have a good angle. You can see what you're doing here, and you've got a nice angle. Now you can put in a spark plug with a start it with a wrench or whatever, like I tried to a few minutes ago, and it seems like it's going in right, but it's not. You might have the wrong angle. It might be a little bit. You might start. It could start this way. I'm talking about the threads. You can start the threads a little ways, and it seems like it's right, but it's not. Or the other way, or sideways, or whatever. It starts okay, but it's not going in right because as you tighten it, it becomes harder and harder to tighten. That's the red flag. If you feel resistance or feel like it's too tight, you should back it out. And I'm going to show you how to do it right. You do it by hand. You start it by hand. You put it in there and you slowly turn it and make sure that it's going in nice and easy. It should be able to go in nice and easy by hand. You can see I'm screwing it in right now. You can screw it all the way to the end. Now this is another reason why you should take off the muffler or any obstruction, because a lot of times machines will come into my shop or other shops and the owner didn't even know that they put in the spark plug wrong. It might be halfway in and that's it. You can still see threads. I don't know if you can see the threads here, but you can still see threads, and they think it's in because it got tight. They were putting it in wrong. It got tight, and they said, "Okay, I got it in right. I got it in. It's nice and tight," and it's not. So your electrode is halfway in. It's not all the way in, and that's another reason why you want to take off the muffler or any obstruction so that you see that it's in all the way. And if it's not in all the way, you're asking for trouble. I mean, the machine may run. It may run fine. I've seen machines where the spark plug's in halfway and it still runs fine. But the problem is there's so much compression when the engine's running, this becomes a missile. If the threads are already damaged and the spark plug's not in there really nice and tight, it could become a missile and just blow right out. Now, I haven't seen that happen, but I've heard stories about it. But once you've got it put in by hand. Now, some people will use a hose also. You can put the hose on the end of the spark plug and screw it in that way. I use this. This is a spark plug wrench that comes with the Honda toolkit. And you can put it over the spark plug and put it all the way in. And then once it's all the way in, you can snug it down a little bit. You don't use all your might. If you tighten it too much, you could also mess up the threads in the head. So you make it snug and then just do it a little bit more so it's tight. Now, if you're taking out your spark plug to replace or to check, you remove it. You can clean the end. This doesn't look too bad. You can clean the end with a brush. If it's sparking, you can clean the end with the brush. And then you can use a gap tool like this and check the gap. Put the gap tool in here like this, and it's where it stops. That's your gap. And on this one, it's about 28 to 30 thousandths. On Honda, most Honda snowblowers, it's 28 to 31 thousandths. Now, concerning spark plugs, you want to use the correct spark plug. Honda uses Here's a Honda spark plug. It's an NGK. It's a very, very good brand spark plug. This is the only type of spark plug I use, and I use genuine NGK spark plugs. I don't use knockoffs from eBay or Amazon from China or whatever. They may say it's an NGK, but it's not. So I either use Honda, original Honda, genuine parts, spark plug, NGK, or if I buy them online, I buy them from the NGK store. That way you know you're getting the right spark plug. There's a lot of knockoffs out there. They're cheap. They're like $1.50 or whatever. You know, if you buy 5 or 8 or whatever each, and you're thinking you're getting a great deal and you're not. So you want to use the genuine NGK spark plugs. And when you take your spark plug out, you're looking you're looking at the end here, the electrode, see if it's all worn out or burnt off, see what color it is. It should be a light tan color. Up here in the Sierra, most of the plugs I pull are very rich, or they're black, which is, it's okay, you know. I mean, it's not the greatest, but the spark plug should be fairly tan, not white or whatever. But you clean it off, and you also check to make sure that this outer cover is not cracked. If it's cracked, just dump it, just throw it away and put a new one in. So you want to check this uh, check this covering here. Put a little bit of anti-seize grease on it, like I did with this one. I put a little bit of anti-seize grease on the threads, and once it's gapped, a lot of times, what's nice about the Honda plugs is they come pre-gapped. So most of the time, they might need a little bit of adjustment, but they're usually around 28 to 30 thousandths, which is okay. And right from the box, I check the gap, and half the time, I don't have to readjust. They're perfect almost. So I just throw them on, and then you start the plug by hand. You start it by hand, and you try to go as far as you can by hand, and then you want to make sure that, let's say it's already started. You want to make sure it goes in nice and easy. You see how easy that is? There's no resistance, and you want to make sure it's going to go in nice and easy all the way. See, there's no resistance. Doesn't not hard or anything. I can seat the plug by hand all the way in if I want to. I usually start it by hand, put it in about a third of the way, half the way, and then put it. Use my hand on this wrench here and tighten it all the way down. See, you can't see anymore. I don't know if you can see, but you can't see any more threads, and it's just about seated. And then all you have to do is tighten it down just a little bit. You don't have to use all your might. See, I'm just gonna tighten it just a little bit, and then okay, then you can put your boot back on. Now I forgot to mention that when you're taking the boot off, you don't want to pull it from the wire. You want to pull it from the boot. You might have to twist it a little bit to loosen the boot on the spark plug, but you don't want to pull it from the wire. So you pull it off from the boot and you put it on. You'll hear a snap. I don't know if you heard that. Let's try it again. Hear the snap? So now it's on. Okay. And then you can put your muffler back on, which only takes about 30 seconds. And then you can test it. Okay. So that's basically the correct way. I showed you the wrong way, and then I tried to show you the correct way of doing your plug. So if you like this video, if you think it's going to help you, maybe save you some money, which it would. If you put it in wrong, it's going to cost. So if you think this video helped you, please subscribe to our channel. Check out our other videos in our playlists or whatever. They're all geared for you to help you save money on doing your own basic maintenance and repairs on Honda snowblowers and help you in emergency situations. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.